A lot of people talk about reptilians and, if you can see them and whatnot. And then we start to ask ourselves, what are we, Or what are these things that we see outside of us for us to say that an individual is a reptilian, right? What are the characteristics of a reptilian? Reptilians we can look at as something polarized to being malevolent or benevolent, or just is, whatever it is, right? When you look at reptilian, and we start to look at these conspiracy theories of people saying that they shapeshift, that they have malicious intent, they are to some extent hateful toward humanity, right? So I want you to notice something, okay? Reptilians are animals that we look at in nature, part of the reptile kingdom, right? Just like you have the fish kingdom, you have the bird kingdom, you have the insect kingdom. So these would be considered the reptile kingdom, right? And one of their characteristics is to shapeshift. Why do they shapeshift though? They're trying to be cloaked, either for protective purposes, or to be cloaked to be able to manipulate humanity to some extent, right? You put yourself in this weakened, disempowered state to say these reptilians are out to get you and whatnot, which in some sense of the word is true if you believe it to be true, right? But however, okay, you're still always putting yourself separate to something where if it wasn't in you, it wouldn't exist outside of you, okay? Understand this. Reptilians or reptiles, just like any other animal, usually blends into their environment to protect themselves from predators. And you are part of these predators that they protect themselves from, because man likes to hunt things and kill things, They don't have a communication with the animal kingdom because they have no communication with themselves. And then when you see these animals in fear, this is a mirror aspect of yourself that's reflected back to you with your animalistic self being in fear, okay? Now, look at this carefully. Did you once stop to think that the environment that you are observing is the reptilian side of you? Now, if you really pay attention to all schools of thought that you can listen to from many different people online, right? Where you start to decipher and connect, because a lot of people say, God gave me this message, God told me this. Who the fuck is God, right? Who the fuck is God? Is God outside to you? See, the thing is, when I listen to certain people, I'm trying to be as present as possible, regardless of who the individual is. But that individual is God in and of itself. Sometimes there may be a spark of something that may inspire me to put out a message, or it can just be empty to me where it doesn't mean anything to me at that moment in time. So I tend to just move and discard it, right? It's not resonating with me. It didn't ring a bell. It didn't move me or inspire me, right? Because you got that word inspire, but people like to listen to the conspire, the conspiracy parts of things, right? Because it's the negative parts of drama that you like. But most of the time, really being present, let's say masculine, feminine, positive, negatives, acids, alkaline, and really trying to find that sweet spot in things, right? But the same way, okay, that we look at these reptilians outside of you, shape-shifting, it's funny how us as humans, we were given dominion over everything here on the planet, right? So when you start to really have a connection with self and understand your animalistic nature and what you perceive outside of you to be real reflections of you, you'll start to also notice that you are not the type of person that has to do what reptilians do, right? You don't have to blend into your environment. Somehow the environment molds and shapes to you depending on your mindset and frequency. So again, we don't see the world for how it is. You see the world for how you are, right? So as an empowered human, okay, you mold and shape your reality to your will, Okay? But understand this. Everything that you see outside of you is you. So everything molds and shapes according to you. So aren't you watching in real time the animalistic parts of yourself right now as we speak? All the beauty, the uglies that we want to categorize as bad or good, all these things outside of you, they're molding and shaping to you. So you don't need to mold and shape to your environment. Okay? Yet, we exercise these reptilian aspects of ourselves by shapeshifting in ways that doesn't involve physical shapeshifting. When you go to a job interview, okay, you acclimate or adjust to be conducive to that environment. You don't act the same way with a person who's giving you a job interview the same way you would act with your friends. You don't act with your girlfriends the same way you act around your friends. You don't go around your mom and act the same way you act around your girlfriend or your friends, do you? So you're constantly shapeshifting. You acclimate to make it conducive to your environment, right? But yet, when you are being a conscious creator, okay, you'll notice that upon changing your mind, shifting your perception, your environment starts to adjust itself at your will, right? At your command. You may be aware of it or you may not be aware of it. If your life is chaotic, the reptilian side of yourself is molded to you, okay? Are you in fight or flight, or are you in your empowered state? See, these things I notice through meditation and whatnot, that you really can't be told these things. It's just like Christianity, Catholicism, all these isms, you know, they are, see, they were told to you. Much of this information has to be realized. You cannot be taught or told these things. You have to have a realization of these things for you to know where this is coming from. There's been times where I've been in meditation and I mean, just the glimpse of this experience I'm having here felt exactly like when I think about a dream I just had when I just woke up out of bed. That's exactly what this reality felt like, which means that no different than the people, places, and things that I experienced in that dream state upon waking up in the morning were all in my head, which means that if I had a bad experience and somebody did something bad to me in my dream and I felt bad about it, who am I pointing the finger at if these people were all in my head? I had that dream by myself, right? Now, there's many layers of people could say dream implanting or memory, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all happening in your head, right? But once you become aware, then what happens? So that's all I had for this video, okay? And I would appreciate it if you like this video. It does help my channel out a lot. And we will talk soon.